Amongst both hardcore anime fans and more casual laid-back anime fans, one of the most popular things about anime is villain groups. Your Espada, your Akatsuki, your Phantom Troop. Yet the current most popular anime across the entire world, One Piece, doesn't really have an iconic villain group. And why is that? Today I want to discuss why One Piece, which is the most popular anime in the world right now, kind of dodged the whole popular villain group thing that a bunch of other popular anime have, what makes a very popular villain group, and if One Piece will get one in the future. So first, there's something I want to address before we get into the nitty-gritty, and that is, there's probably a lot of people watching this video right now that are thinking, but One Piece does have villain groups. And while yes, One Piece does have villain groups, I don't think any of them fall into the popular category that things like the Akatsuki and the Phantom Troop do, which are extremely mainstream villain groups, and I want to talk about why that might be the case. Now, in my opinion, there are three main factors that make anime villain groups so popular, and of all the groups in One Piece, I don't think any of them contain any of these qualities. Now's probably a good time to introduce the potential villain groups in One Piece that don't have these qualities so we can take a look and compare. The four potential villain groups that people might say are the popular villain group of One Piece are the Seven Warlords, the Admirals, the Yonko, and perhaps more recently the Holy Knights. Now that we have those four groups out of the way, let's get back to the three major factors of a popular anime villain group. The first is a recognizable leader. The first two that come to mind to me is Pain in Naruto and Chrollo in Hunter x Hunter. Yes, I know in Naruto there is a shadow leader of the Akatsuki, but Pain was kind of the face for the whole Akatsuki arc, and of course Chrollo is one of the most iconic characters in Hunter x Hunter. Both of these characters give their respective villain group a face, something that the fans can look at as the representative of the organization, someone with an immense aura, if you will, that you know when they're on screen something serious is happening and they're a character to watch out for. Two out of these four groups in One Piece have leaders, in the Holy Knights and the Admirals, the Holy Knights leader being their supreme commander, who used to be Figureland Garling and is now his son, Figureland Shamrock, and the other two villain groups I mentioned do not have a leader. It goes without saying that the Yonko are all very individualistic, so they don't have a leader because they themselves are villain groups independently, and the Shichibukai all again have their own motives. They all kind of just report to the world government, and I don't really count that as a leader. But for the two groups that do have leaders, I'll have to excuse the Holy Knights for this one because they're very new to the story and perhaps they will become the popular villain group of One Piece because they have a leader. But the Admirals compared to the Fleet Admiral who is their leader, I feel like is a degree of separation. You don't exactly see Akainu going and tooling around with his Admirals, and because he isn't exactly their direct leader and they all report to the world government, I don't really think he falls into that leader category. The second factor that makes a very popular villain group in anime is a direct goal that the audience can identify. This doesn't even have to be something grand, it just needs to be identifiable. For example, every time you saw the Akatsuki after a certain point in Naruto, you knew that Pain wanted to, well, show the world pain and bring peace to the world by supplying the villages around the world with nuclear weapons pretty much so that they would be in an eternal stalemate. Or you can go even simpler with something like Haikyuu, where the villain group in Shiratorizawa very definably wants to make it to nationals. These are two very definable goals that the audience knows the villain group is aiming after, which are things that One Piece villain groups don't exactly have. Something that I love about One Piece is that even in these groups, each character has a very individualistic motive. For example, Kuzan is currently a part of the Blackbeard Pirates, which later in the video we will talk about the Blackbeard Pirates, but he very clearly has his own goal. And I think this goes for literally every group in One Piece apart from maybe the Straw Hats. So because characters in other anime all identify with one goal, they sort of become popular with the audience, but in One Piece, you have people being fans of more individual characters because they each stand for something different. And you can see this with the four villain groups in One Piece I've mentioned already. Although the Holy Knights are extremely new to One Piece, each of them seem to have their own individualistic goals compared to what the world government wants. The Admirals we know have individual goals. Someone like Fujitora kind of alliances himself with Luffy's goals, whereas Green Bull is literally working for the world government directly. In the Seven Warlords, I don't even need to mention it. Boa Hancock is literally on Luffy's side and other warlords try to kill him throughout the story. And the same goes for the Yonko, where we have some Yonko who are on Luffy's side like Shanks, and we have others who try to kill him like Kaido and Big Mom. However, the last defining factor of a popular anime villain group is something that I feel like all the One Piece villains actually have, which leads me to believe there is hope for us to get a popular villain group in the future, and that is cool powers. If you're going to have a villain group, they need to be powerful, they need to be terrifying, and they need to have cool powers. And I feel like One Piece does this extremely well, not just for villain groups, but every strong character in One Piece has a very cool power, so I think there's a lot of cool characters that can make up cool villain groups in the future. Which leads me to the biggest part of this video. If One Piece was to get a popular anime villain group that would reach the heights of the Akatsuki or the Phantom Troupe, who would it be? And I think there's one group that I previously mentioned that embodies all three of the points I've mentioned in this video, and that is the Blackbeard Pirates. The Blackbeard Pirates have a leader who is very identifiable and popular amongst the One Piece fanbase in Blackbeard, a character who is the literal foil to Luffy, our main character, was introduced back in episode 150 or even earlier, and is fated to have one of the most legendary battles against Luffy in the entire series. He is everything you want from a villains group leader. Secondly, they have a definable goal. Although the Blackbeard Pirates definitely do have individualistic goals on top of their group goal, they are all aiming for the One Piece, and by proxy, the takeover of the entire world. It's extremely simple. The Blackbeard Pirates want to be the kings of the world. It's something that the One Piece fanbase can very easily identify. It's something that is very obviously against what Luffy wants and provides a roadblock for our main characters, and I think that is exactly what you want for a villain group. And of course, number 3, cool powers. The Blackbeard Pirates have it all. They are literally a devil fruit hunting crew. They have some of the coolest powers in the series, and Blackbeard is the only antagonist or the only character in the One Piece universe to possess 2 devil fruits. I seriously think the Blackbeard Pirates have the making to be the popular anime villain group for One Piece. And the fact that our fandom's been waiting for them to make a move and have a huge impact on the story for over 20 years now definitely plays into that. So let me know what you think. Do you think the Blackbeard Pirates are going to be the big villain group in One Piece? Do you think One Piece isn't going to have a villain group that matches up to the popularity of something like the Akatsuki or the Phantom Troupe? And what's your favorite villain group in anime? And what could One Piece introduce to make you have a new favorite villain group in perhaps the Blackbeard Pirates or the Holy Knights? Thanks for watching, and until next time.